It's your girl, Professor Cinephile, and today I want to talk to y'all about the new film 1992. Um, you know, I like Tyrese as an actor when he stays in his lane, and that's going to be the theme today, staying in your lane. Okay, so if you haven't heard of it, 1992 is your typical heist film, right? So by heist film, I mean people are plotting to steal something, and it's an elaborate plan. Several different personalities are involved, and they're all coming together to try to, um, you know, win out in life, right? So it's set in 1992, and it's set during the Los Angeles riots, right? And if you were not alive during that time, there were riots that broke out across Los Angeles after the verdict came in for the police officers who were charged with the basically gang assault of Rodney King. It was one of the first times that police brutality of this nature was caught on video. It was shown to the world. We all saw it. We all saw them taking turns beating him. And when they went to trial, they were basically not convicted and found not guilty or whatever the hell happened. Um, and as a result, people took to the streets and they were rioting. Some people were really righteous in their rage. Other people were like, look, there's free stuff to be had, so we about to go get it. There was a lot of like racial tension, and this was all like a boiling point because this was not the first incident of like kind of racialized terrorism, and there were some other things going on. So 1992 really was a right time for this kind of stuff happening. So this film is set during that time, and it's about a father who is Tyrese, who, he was a gangster. He was a gangbanger. Like people revered him or what have you. He went to prison and then he came back and he's, re-entering citizen trying to get his life together. He has custody of his son. He's trying to like raise his son to be, a strong man and all those kinds of things, despite his background. So I liked Tyrese in this. I liked what he brought to it. And I'm gonna tell you, Tyrese, when he stays in his lane, Los Angeles stories, South Central stories, father stories, that's where he really shines. And I really like what he brought to this film, and it made it really enjoyable. There's another story happening where Ray Liotta is, kind of the leader of this ring of thieves. He's a bank robber, basically. He understands how to crack in these like major safes, and he has taught his sons, I guess, the art of his trade. And so they've got a family heist business going on. And I should note that this was Ray Liotta's his last film and his last role. So there's a bit of a bittersweet thing, seeing him up there, knowing that that's his last role. But he did what Ray Liotta does, right? Ray Liotta has always kind of brought a certain energy to films, so he was there. And so they kind of collide, right? So Tyrese he's trying to stay on this, straight and narrow path, and he ends up getting caught up because they're trying to heist a vault, a safe from the place where he works, and he's got this legitimate job. He's making his money, and during the riots, he takes his son and he kind of heads back there because it's safe. It's, a place that people are probably not going to try to loot. So it makes sense that they would go there for safety. They happen to come across this family that's trying to steal this money, this vault. And in the vault, there is, all these like platinum bricks, and they're like, look, it's $10 million worth of platinum bricks in there. We're about to do it. So the story kind of follows through, what happens when they encounter them. And um, it's it's definitely a family story, and we're getting family stories from two different sides. You've got Tyrese as a father and his son, and their kind of dynamic, which has like tension. You can tell that him and his son don't necessarily get along, probably because he's in and out of jail most of his son's life. And then you've got this situation with Ray Liotta and his kids, and he's trying to raise them up in his ways One is a bit of a hothead, thinks he knows everything, and the other one is kind of reluctant, like he doesn't really want to do that. And so it's a whole thing around that while they're also trying to steal this vault. And um, it's like I said, it's a typical heist film. It's enjoyable for like kind of the twists and turns around that. You're like, there's a lot of will they or won't they. Ray Liotta's character is rather ruthless in this film. If you are somebody who enjoys, heist films, I don't know how else to describe it. It's a heist film. If you enjoy heist films, this will be it. If you appreciate kind of the reminiscence, like kind of going back to that time, we're talking like 32 years ago. It's, I think that the Los Angeles riots were such a big part of American history. And I think that in some ways, people try to like sweep it under the rug and try to act like it didn't happen, but it did. And tensions really spilled over, particularly between African Americans and white Americans and also Asian Americans. There was a lot of stuff going on there. So they get into that a bit and they explore like what some of those tensions were and how those kinds of racial tensions and just again the whole tension of the situation, how that plays into and how that affects people's decision making in their lives. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was not expecting a whole lot, and it it gave me what I needed. If this is the kind of thing that you enjoy, I say go ahead and watch it. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it 3.5 hearts. I'm gonna give it 3.5 hearts. I'm not giving it four because it is still Tyrese, and Tyrese, again, when he's in his lane, he's cool, I again, I'm not giving it five because it didn't really like move me in any major way. It just was a film. But I do think it's one that's worth watching. I don't think that you'll regret going to see it. There were, some really interesting conversations between the characters. Tyrese kind of taps into this like brooding dad reformed gangster thing. And I actually appreciated that, especially because, he's coming from like Baby Boy and he's coming from some of these other spaces where like make Fast and Furious, right? Like he's like lawless. And all that good stuff. So it was good to see him in this role. Yeah, and rest in peace to Ray Liotta. I don't know of anything scandalous that he's done, but as an actor, you all know that this man has had a career that has spanned decades. And he passed away, and this was his last film. So we give a little love and honor to that. Go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to subscribe. Follow me for, more reviews on films and more commentary on these things. And I'm so happy to have you all here. Hit that like button too on your way out.